Everyone, this is Ben from Cheddar Flow, and today I thought we would switch things up a bit for the weekly recap video. If you're new to the channel here for this video, we basically do a video every single Sunday that kind of like recaps the previous flow from the week before on like specific tickers, and then those tickers may have a very good potential in the coming week, which it's actually been pretty consistent so far with some good gains in the past. This week, however, I wanted to switch it up a bit and instead show you guys how I like to look for tickers for those videos. For example, how I like to go into the flow overview tab, look through the bullish flow on it, and kind of go through each ticker and what I'm looking for specifically when I click on each ticker on here to determine something to maybe show you guys in the video. So hopefully you guys do like this video. Let me know in the comments below and we'll get started right away. All right, so because I just said the flow overview tab, that's where we're going to start. So it's right here. It's the third one on Cheddar Flow. And basically, I like to look through this. It's a scanner at the end of the day. And that's why I like to look at it each week to determine what tickers I want to maybe look for potential continuation in the following week. And basically, you can look at this today, which would have been Friday, yesterday, Thursday, and then the entire week overall. So we'll start with the entire week. I want to see what was strong for that entire week, and maybe we can have that continuation, like I said, going forward. So Tesla we have right here. This one has been very consistent as the top premium for the entire week. It's been this way for the past couple months, honestly. So I'm not as interested in looking at this one. Sometimes I may see things like an excessive amount of premium in like the billions or something, and that's something that will kind of catch my eye and stuff. But for the most part, Tesla's just consistently up here, so I don't really look through it as much just because of that. If I like the chart, then maybe I'd look through it a little bit more. So we're just discount this one. And this one is just from experience. And everything on Cheddar Flow is going to kind of be experience-based. I can give you guys tips, but at the end of the day, it's going to be what you're most comfortable with looking through overall. It's the same thing with flow. You're going to see patterns once you look at it more and more across time, and those patterns are going to help you form kind of your own strategy. And this next one here, Apple, again, this one has also been on the top for quite a while, but I'll look through it just in case there are some strikes that maybe are pretty far out of the money, show some aggression. And just overall right now, I'm looking at three things. One, so the premium's on the side here. I'm looking for premium over 100,000. So I don't care about the stuff that's under it, that's small, not really as relevant to my trading strategy. So that's one thing. I'm also scanning while I scroll down the strike. I want to see the strike is out of the money and by quite a bit as well. The current price or spot price as it's referred to on here is 170. I want to start seeing 175s. I want to see 180s. If it can go over, that's great. 180s is very ideal in this case. So that's also what I'm scanning for on top of the fact that it's over 100,000 in premium. And then third, I want to see within the next 3 months of an expiration. So I don't really care as much. These 190s are cool, but they are for June. That's a bit further than my comfort zone. They can factor into it. However, I like to see within the next 3 months. So that's basically to that April 14th expiration on those. So scrolling through it, nothing really strong. We can see some over 1 million. So this checks out for premium, but they're super deep in the money. And the expiration is elite for next year. So these are probably closing out of these contracts. Not really looking into those as much. Just scrolling down, nothing really crazy. Then we get to this one right here. We have a 1.5 million. This is a block order, so it was an institution, and it's out of the money for 180, and they got this one at 168. However, this is for June of 2022, but I do like how aggressive they were with it being out of the money. And again, June is kind of that mid-ground right here. It is further out in terms of expiration. However, it is still good in terms of out of the money. So this is something that I like to see, and these are orders I like to see as well, just preferably if we had within April of the expiration. But I just like to look through this, going through, and you can make the search even easier if you go to the options order flow and you go to Apple right here. This would just be for Friday on this, but you can go over and filter for premium. So again, like I said, I want to see over 100,000. I could check it right here. You can also filter the expirations on here as well. And we're actually coming out with a lot more filters in the future, so you will be able to filter a lot more, make it even easier for your strategy to work. And overall, if I am looking through this right here, we could see our 1.5 million that I just talked about, and you can see a few others. But overall, kind of iffy, not really showing any strength. Maybe we'll see strength this next week, I'm going to be looking for those out of the money orders like 175, 180, and that'll kind of give me that signal that something could potentially happen. So hopefully this part helps with your strategies. All right, next thing I want to go over is our dark pool levels feature. This is the fourth one on the left-hand side of Cheddar Flow. I love this one personally. Not a lot of people have been using it as much, but I really like to see some big zones of accumulation because you can kind of get a sense on where the trend can be for SPY, specifically if we are over or under a certain level of a lot of accumulation. You can see right here on Friday, we actually had 2.4 billion in accumulation on this 431.34 level. And basically, the fact that we closed well above it is very bullish in my opinion. Now, could they have sold at the high of the day? Most definitely, and we'll get a sense on Monday because it probably would have been a signature print. Basically, the signature prints are the institutions taking an order on the dark pool exchange overseas, and they don't have to legally show that trade happened until 24 hours after it actually happened. So they can that trade, if they took it on Friday at the high of day, like around, let's say around this level, like 441.95, that doesn't have to show up until Monday. So it's kind of one of those iffy things that can make it difficult. However, it can show levels that you do want to pass in order to become more bullish, or pass if you want to become bearish on the downside. So you can look at the last 5 days, and we'll actually have this opened up a little bit later this year to show multiple months in the past if you want to look at that. But you can go through and see the key zones of accumulation on SPY, and right here you can see 433.62 is an important level. We had 2.4 billion in premium right there, and you can just go through each day and see kind of what levels we need to pass in order to become maybe bullish or bearish. This one had 2 billion here at 434.24, so you can kind of get a sense and kind of see the trend that this 434 range for the last 2 days has had a lot of accumulation. So that's a key level that we may want to break through, which we did on Friday, which is very bullish. And we need to make sure we hold it as well. That's another thing as well. So you can also use this for individual tickers. So like Apple, this is a very large amount right here. We have 558.6 million at the 159.69. So here's an important level that we need to stay over, and we did close over this by a lot, so that's good to see. Same thing goes for the 27th right here. 303 million at 159. So again, that 159 range is a lot of accumulation. There's a lot of volume just in that range right there. So that's important that we do close above if you are bullish on Apple. And you can see on the chart right here where that level is displayed. So this is kind of a good sense. And this only works, in my opinion, on tickers that are big caps or the indexes. So like SPY or the Qs. So I don't really use it on ones that are a lot smaller just because they don't get much dark pool volume. So I just like to use it on the big players like Apple, SPY, Amazon's a good one, Facebook, Microsoft. All of these can be used really, really well because they do have a lot of volume in the dark pool. Other ones, it's kind of going to be iffy. But I do like to look at these at each weekend and kind of get a sense on what levels I need to get cleared in order for it to be bullish or bearish. So you can check this out as well. All right, and lastly here for this video, I just want to do a quick overview of SPY because again, this one has just been all over the place for the last month roughly. Very, very volatile, especially in the last 2 weeks. So I think it is crucial that I go over this and kind of give you a sense as well what I'm looking at, kind of like I have in previous videos. So basically, I'm filtering this for over 1 million in premium only here. I want to see what the big players are doing. I don't care as much about like people trading it intraday. This is going to give you a sense on what the big players are thinking near term and long term on SPY. And basically, it is very bearish still. So 83%, even though remember, we did close SPY up on quite a bit on Friday, but we closed it very green. So this is even with us closing green, it is still 83% put to 17% call over 1 million in premium. So that is kind of concerning. But again, remember, it's not just face value with flow always. We do have to look through this. Maybe these guys are more very, very short term in terms of puts, and then long term, they're very bullish as well, kind of like they were last week. So we do want to look through this to kind of get a sense on what the context is of it. So basically, here you can see all of these are February orders, so whether it be February 18th or the 4th, and they are very far out of the money as well for these puts. So the put price was 441, and they were getting 422s. This is very interesting to me. This is a bearish order and a bunch of bearish orders because of how much premium there is, and then also the strike they chose along with expiration. But this is key to note as well. It is only bearish short term, so it could be a hedge of sorts. So we could be hedging maybe over the weekend or maybe the next 2 weeks, just in case there is some more downside, whether that be from news or just an event that might happen, or just that the chart's pretty bearish. They need to hedge their other long-term positions. So you do have to be careful with that, just with these far out of the money strikes. It doesn't mean that these are trades. However, when you see a lot of them coming through the tape, it kind of can give you a sense. So we will look for more of these a little bit later here. And then just looking through the rest of these, we did see some other 428s right here, but this was a little bit further in the morning, so these are not as prevalent just because the spot price was 430. The only ones that are very useful to look at in terms of here are these three right here. So we have the 412, 431, and 450 puts, because these have a lot of premium. And then also up here, we have the 422s that I just talked about. So these are very key. Over here is just basically them trading. This is the 0-day expiration strike that occurred on Friday, so I don't really care about these as much. They were trading it. And this one, not as prevalent either, because they were most likely trading it. So basically, the puts are the only thing from Friday, that is, that show some maybe like midterm to near term trend. We haven't seen anything super bullish as of later last week, so we will be looking for that this week in terms of the flow, hopefully Monday, and we'll kind of go from there. But otherwise, appreciate you guys watching this video. Let me know in the comments if you did like kind of like the tips that I shared in here, and I will see you guys in the next video, which actually will be this week. We're going to do 2 videos per week for a bit here, so you can look forward to that.